What about the swim? Yeah, so the Swim Cat brothers. Obviously, we're touching on Dino and his work ethic, and I saw it as a teammate, and then as he was my assistant coach, and you've obviously had him. How has he changed much from Dragons to North Queensland? And then I'd love to hear a bit more about Toddy Payton and how he is as coach, because he's obviously come up there, and mate, you boys are going fantastic, and obviously the ladder doesn't reflect that at the moment, but like we've touched on, he's starting to hit form at the right time, and even 6 weeks ago he's got towed up by the Tigers, but you went out and put on absolute clinic on him on the weekend.
Yeah, like you said, obviously come through Dragons with Dino, and he was great for me there. In terms of contact and that sort of stuff, he hasn't changed one bit. Still loves his contact, so the shoulders probably feel that a bit through pre-season. But no, he's been great for myself and a lot of the team. He sort of looks after that defensive system. So I think I guess that's probably been a big turnaround for us from when I first got up there to when Toddy and Dino come in. There was I guess you touch on we got flogged by the Tigers, but previously to sort of those sort of games and pretty averagely our defence has been pretty good. So it's really been an upwards for the club, and I guess Toddy driving that too. Since Toddy's come in, he's been real advocate on the effort areas of the game, and I guess really sort of displaying to us things that we probably didn't celebrate enough of before. Like it's all well and good to go out and like he touched on after the game, to go and score 74 points, but what they're happier with is no tries, and it's easy for a coach to say that, I understand, but it's been from the start. They've been driving that, and it's I guess as players, we're not probably patting old mate on the back that's scoring 3 tries or running for 300 metres. It's the guy that's turning up to save a try in the corner that probably shouldn't be in that position. So I think that's probably been a big turnaround from our coaching staff, and it starts with Toddy at the top, really driving that and celebrating those things that probably aren't getting celebrated on Channel 9 or on the media, on social media. It's the stuff that we all notice it and on the field, and it's what we started celebrating back in 2021. I think Toddy and that got there, and it probably took a little bit to sort of get that started, and it definitely come to tuition last year. And I guess off the back of celebrating those little things, it was driving boys to sort of work harder at those areas, and not so much the fancy plays that do come off the back of that stuff. It was putting ourselves in the right position to win games, and that stuff comes off the back of it. Freaky blokes like the bloke beside me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dean Young. I think he, there's a few head coach. There was a few I thought he might have got the Dragons job. I think in the near future, it won't be long before he's a head coach at a club. He's awesome, as you said. He's got a great work ethic. He's in there Monday to Friday, track suits, flogging himself in the gym, going in the sauna, doing crunches in the sauna. And then enjoys himself Friday, Saturday, Sunday, comes in, weighs in, does it all again. Yeah. So he flogs himself, and I guess when a coach, is asking you to do something, it's hard. It's easy to say, but when you see them doing things that are hard as well, then you probably have more respect, and you're willing to do that more so because they're also flogging themselves. Toddy can't do much other than ride a bike, and he rides up Castle Hill a fair bit and just flogs himself that way. So they're all pretty tapped in the head, but great coaches. Youngie's got he's very smart. He's very good, great knowledge about the game, whether it's attack or defence. You can go to him and talk to him about those things. Loves footy, so that's good. And then Toddy, as a coach, he keeps you on your toes because, he doesn't like... As a head coach, you can't get close to the boys like you are as assistant coach. It's a bit different, so... you don't know whether you've played really well or bad. He doesn't really give you a difference in his demeanour towards you, so it's good, keeps you on your toes, and sometimes you walk past thinking, is he happy with how I'm going? But, is he off me? Or is he
avoid eye contact.
Stuff like that. But honestly, when you get to training, you think, obviously he might not be impressed with where I'm going, so you just want to improve, and he's real good like that. He gets close, but doesn't let you get too close and comfortable with him. So, he's been great. Just as he said, just effort areas, just celebrate effort areas. And Tommy Dearden's probably the best at the effort areas in our game. And he does a lot for us that people wouldn't see. I know he throws nice passes, score tries, but his kick chase is our best. Even with Cohen Hess, front rower, no one would probably notice the kick chase he does for us and the way he competes on bombs as a front rower. So there's guys like that who internally, Youngie and Toddy, wrap them flat. So it's it's good.
And I think when Todd first came to the club, there was a bit of media attention around the fact Tomalolo's role changed in the team. And again, as an outsider, I got no idea what was going on, but there was a bit of talk around he was trying to get more effort out of Tomalolo, and his minutes have got bigger and bigger. And I think hearing that was probably because his effort areas weren't where they needed to be, and you can see it in the way you boys play now that effort is everywhere. And even big Tomalolo, who he probably can take a bit of rest here and there because of his powerful runs and getting your forwards, your team over the ad line. But he's obviously still doing that little shit that people at home on the couch aren't going to notice. But if you're in a video session, Todd and Dean are going to go, "What the fuck are you doing here, Tomalolo? We need you working hard."
Yep.
And
yeah. Well, it was a bit blown out of proportion what happened through the media, just because we weren't winning and that. But
that's what the media does, mate.
I know. Like, they weren't off each other.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Like Jason's our captain, he was our coach. So they weren't off each other. It's just, as you said, Toddy. I think he even said he probably went out the wrong way of what he said after our first game against Penrith. But look, Jace obviously used to run for 300 metres, play big minutes, and then Toddy come in and changed it a bit. But I think after the first year, I think last year, Toddy kind of let him just go a bit again, and he played more minutes. And as I said, there's guys like Cohen Hess who is willing to do the kick chase for Jace. This fella tackles a lot. Probably tackles plays 80 minutes and might clean up a few scraps. So Jace can maybe have a little rest here, and so when he gets the ball, he's powerful and runs hard. And I think he's been out for a while this year, but his first game back, it might have been 2 weeks ago. But like when Jace is demanding the footy, it's great for us. I think he played his first game against Penrith, and his first stint, blow out a bit and come off, and then second stint come on and led from the front with his runs. He demands the footy, and it's the reason why he is our leader. It's the reason why he's captain. He wouldn't be captain for no reason. It's why he just leads with how he carries the ball and how his intent when we have the ball.
Yeah, and I think the game's changed in the last few years. Where when he first came to the game, it was a bit different. It probably wasn't as fast at the ruck.
Yeah,
and that's you do have that mix, right? You touched on Reece, doing that shit work. Ruben Cotter's obviously still having 20 carries and doing that work. Then you got Tomalolo coming off the back fence, Big Geordie, and then even you got Nenai and the flair and the stuff. You've got an awesome mix, and you two boys, and then obviously Chad's won a grand final. He's the leader, the ultimate professional. And then Tommy Dearden, who you just touched on his effort areas. So, and then you got guys that can finish out wide, and you got New Zealand and Australian representatives there. So you do have a great mix, and it'd be really interesting to see if you can keep this momentum going, and you boys bouncing back into training after a bit of a Origin exposure.
Origin win. Game 3 Origin win.
Yeah, win. Love that shit. Yeah.